What is going on, my good people? This is your main man Ben here. We are Talk Active, practicing wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Happy February to everyone, man. And it is that Hearts Month. First and foremost, thank you for the support in this channel. Truly appreciate the coffee donations. Amazing how little things push us to be better. Thank you for the cup too, wifey. Once again, guys, it's February. Happy Hearts Month. I hope you guys are full of love and contentment. That should be the most requirement for everybody, man. I hope everybody has that, man. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Just a dab of this and a dab of that, contentment and love. By the way, guys, this is the month of emotions. And yes, it is what we practice, the moderation. The goal of this month is reaching a stable understanding of our emotion. That way we are not basing our reactions due to other people's actions. Thank you though, guys. If you're new to this channel, we mainly focus on well-being. The goal is molding us to be our own artist in our own life as our ultimate masterpiece, our ultimate art. And before we start, guys, let me just throw this out. We'll do a quick prayer. Please, Father, no one should ever reject you based on how I represent you. Amen and amen. Once again, guys, we are in the month of February. Theme of the month is passion. The things that we cannot change to accept rather than fight every little thing. The one who put the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Since we practice practicality to be able to live well, we will apply the one that will work in our method. Yeah, I love that. I love that sound, man. I love that intro, man. That sound, that thing. I mean, if you work on the radio station, disc jockey and all that stuff, and including podcasting, voiceover, there's a lot of different discipline in terms of audio. We're not audio engineers, but we do have an understanding. I just love those little things, those minor details, such as, background noise. But other than that, guys, happy February to all, man. My good people, today's topic is entitled passion. Now, we will talk about passion that we can grow into, and not as a temporary thirst quencher. Not the passion that you think, but the passion that can enlighten and keep that, stability in our mind, especially. We are in a constant journey in this channel. We do have plans. We unravel the plans little by little, but the main goal here is our well-being. We are not life coach. We just have some things that we share. We base our learning in the book of life here, and of course our guests. We do have guests in our own understanding and our own experience, and all that stuff. That's how we do here. Well-being, self-well-being. Now, when we talk about passion, it is a very, very tacky situation, since if you are a passionate person, it is good. It is good in a way that if you like what you do, you put into your best work. A passionate basketball player will thrive because you love what you do. A passionate accountant likes to put in all that numbers perfectly aligned, putting that, balance book sheet and ledgers and all that stuff. Amazing, because you can, put that finances and put it and submit it as a report in your company. So there's a lot of different definitions of passion, but overall it points out to good things that come out on your life. So it's a discipline. For me, passion is a discipline that is instilled. And once you have that passion, keep that fire burning. That way you keep on improving, and hopefully you'll be able to spread that passion of yours in as a positivity to other people as well. Now, there are different types of passions though. Passions can be fueled by positivity. Also, passions can be fueled by negativity. There's some hidden intent. That way it will throw you off your concentration. Ultimately, that's the thing with passion. You love the game so much that you'll do anything in your power so that you win. That goes to any field in life. In this situation, we are not going to point out somebody else's life, because we don't do that. We don't do that here in our channel. Maybe just, a shots fired here and there, but we don't point out people. We do make examples though. But what we do here is we're going to concentrate on general things, since we are well-being here. Now we're going to talk about passionate discipline in sports this time around. Now we talk about MMA. MMA artists, when they weigh in, when they go to that weigh-in before they fight, they do have that time that they meet in each other, and they go to weigh in themselves. That way they don't cheat, or they stay on their weight class. That's the weight factor of it. That's why if you fight on 160 weight, then you must stay 160 or maybe below 160, but you cannot go overweight. Because if you go overweight, then you can be sanctioned, fined by the company, or the opponent might not fight you because you did not meet the requirement of the weight class. So it's very important. It's a discipline, and you must adhere to these rules. Now, speaking of passionate, you can see in this weigh-ins that MMA fighters can be so anal and so, I must say, sorry about that word, they can be so, a-hole that they taunt their opponent. They talk stuff, they do bad things, they sometimes push, shove. They do anything so that they can get into their opponent's head, ultimately messing them up, making them angry. That's the main goal in there. And yeah, that's mind games right there. In other words, they play mind games. That way the people or their opponent can be, jumbled up. That way they just concentrate on their feelings, not on their techniques. And that goes through all of sports and any discipline. NFL players, NBA players, they talk trash big time. If you watch the NFL, they got mic'd up. Of course they're gonna bleep those things. That's really, really not appropriate for TV. But they do big boy trash talking, and it happens overall on any field. The big question is why? Why, of all the things that you can do, instead of just performing, why would you do such thing? Why would you talk bad at all? You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, because you want to have an edge on your opponent, to throw them off their concentration, to get their opponents, into their mind, into their head to get an extra edge before the competition. That is the main goal. Ultimately, making them make mistakes when they compete so that they can capitalize in it. It's very basic, right? It's very basic because everybody can see that. Why are you podcasting this? It's because sometimes basic in the most common sense is not common anymore in our lives. Well-being. We are well-being here. Sometimes common sense, people with that does not even recognize. Overall, guys, making them fall to their own weakness. That is the goal of the people that taunts. That is the goal of the people that like to trash talk to their opponent. That goes through any walks in life. If they don't like to see these people thrive, they're going to bad talk these people. They're going to talk behind his back. If this person succeed in life, envy sips into this other individual, and they will find minute little details to put you down, to discourage people, and to somewhat get into you so that you get thrown off in your game. I mean, not everybody, but that is the goal of the people that doesn't like to see you succeed. They want us to fall on our own weakness. That is the goal of the people that does that in our life. So whenever you see somebody, take this as a example, not really a bluntly, thing that to do, but for siblings, if they tell on each other when they're mad at each other already, when the brothers are fighting and the parents are trying to see and get the bottom of this, you'll notice that both of these brothers will throw each other on the bus. But you did this, but you said something about this, it ticks me off. You can see that evidence. Since we are child or small individuals, we're still under our parents. That is already a human nature. So understand that this is not a phenomenon. This has already been applied to everybody. Now we're going to throw some examples here on very famous individuals. It's very amazing things that they did. Let me see. Draymond Green, for example. Okay, Draymond Green, Warriors. My brother got me this hat. I did not get this for Draymond Green. I just want Warriors because he lives in Sacramento. I need to have a souvenir. But other than that, that's that. No pun intended though. But yeah, Draymond Green, man. I mean, if you know him, he got a big mouth. He recently, if you watch that thing that he punched his own teammate, that he knocked him down, Jordan Poole, I think. Yeah, he is not the most likable player in that team, in the Golden State Warriors, because he embraces that role. He's like the villain, the big villain, you know what I'm saying? But take this. The legendary Tim Duncan, if you know NBA player Tim Duncan, you know him very well. He is called the Mr. Fundamentals. Of course, he's legend. He's already retired recently, like 4 or 5 years ago. Tim Duncan is a stone. When I say a stone, he is a stone that you cannot get into. He is just like a blunt object. A stone is solid. A stone is unbreakable. A stone is, even though you boil a stone, the stone will not melt. It will be hot, but it will not melt. Maybe if you throw it into magma, then it's gonna melt naturally, because magma, I believe, is a molten stone. But you can never get into Tim Duncan. You can never get a reaction in him, regardless of how good of a trash talker you are. Example, Draymond Green. In Draymond Green's own words, he tried to get into him, Here's what Draymond Green said. A Tim Duncan story came from Draymond Green. In my rookie year, I kind of talk junk to everybody. I don't know about in your rookie year. I think you still does till this day. In the middle of the game, I started talking to Tim. So he's trying to trash talk Tim Duncan. And I had already got into with somebody on their team. So Tim Duncan definitely plays Spurs only. He probably trash talked Manu Ginobili, Parker, some of his team, maybe Kawhi Leonard. I don't remember who it was, but I started talking to Tim and he kind of just stared at me. So Draymond Green said, I just kept talking junk to him and he kept staring at me. At that point, I realized during the rest of my career that I might as well not talk to him. Either one, he is not going to talk back at you because he has no respect for me, or two, he is not going to talk back because that is who he is, or three, both. I figured. I mean, coming from a guy that has a loud mouth and loves to talk, and he just figured things out. That's funny. That is really funny in this modern day. Listening to that or watching and while I make this script for my podcast, of course I do have script. It felt on me like, man, you just got served. You got served on your own medicine, but not really like on your trash talking to trash talk, but a total no response from Tim Duncan. So, Draymond Green got shut out by just having absolutely not getting anything from Tim Duncan. Now, it is a story that I think it's not that Tim Duncan is emotionless, but what he had is mastering his own emotions, not just in the game itself, but outside the game. Not that Tim Duncan didn't respond, because he's a human being and this is a professional game, which is the highest level of basketball in the world. It's not that Tim Duncan didn't hear him. Tim Duncan just chose not to respond. But he responded on a very subtle, different approach. It's not that he talked back or he talked trash back to Draymond Green, but he just looking at him. That's very subtle. How did I know that was a response? Take out this guy again. Kevin Garnett. Another legend, Kevin Garnett. If you know basketball, you cannot miss him, okay? KG, get out of here. You cannot miss him. Now, Kevin is known to talk loud. Kevin Garnett, yeah, he talks loud and he's very tall. I believe he's almost 7 foot. And he's a leader in Minnesota Timberwolves in his time, respectfully. Kevin Garnett, yeah, he started there and then he became the famous Boston Celtic where he won his championship. Yeah, you had know your NBA history, huh? Yes, Kevin Garnett is a legend. Yes, he talks loud. Not just to the opposing, what? Not just to the opposing player, not just to his teammates. Kevin Garnett talks loud to himself. While playing, you can see it. If you go to YouTube Kevin Garnett, you can see him talking to himself. Very loud and very, physically you can see it in, YouTube or in the TV, that's sometimes almost yelling to absolutely nobody. He yells absolutely nobody. And imagine playing and then you just walking back to the opponent's court and you're not talking to anybody and you just yell and you just talk to himself. You're looking like a lunatic. And that is Kevin Garnett. That's just him. That's just him. In Kevin Garnett's own words, all his trash talking never worked on Tim Duncan. Hence, Tim responses got into the league's one of the best trash talker, which is Kevin Garnett, respectfully in its time. Kevin said, his response that's my bad, man. I need to get my coffee, you know what I'm saying? I mean, coffee. It's just funny when you podcast, you feel like a DJ. Sometimes you're talking 21 minutes or so. It just gets into you. But here's what Kevin said. His response are a couple words only, like phrases like almost, got you. In Kevin's own words, this one is the worst. Nice try. This really got into Kevin Garnett. Nice try. I mean, if you talk a lot and you just like me right now in podcast, I throw this to you and then you talk back at me. That's how life is. Nice try, Ben. That's my only criticism. Dang, that would be like, nice try. You know, there's no other things that Tim Duncan said. There's no gangster talk or slur rhyming or, you know, because they like, you know, like to talk trash. And when you trash talk, when you connect a word like fire, tire, you rhyme them and make something out of nothing. As long as you rhyme them, that's how you trash talk effectively. Kids do not do that. It is just a subtle ways to back your ass up and put back in like this over here. That's what Kevin Garnett said to Tim Duncan. Mr. Fundamentals indeed put everybody in their own place. As a result, nobody wants to trash talk him. I think nobody wants to talk to him except that he just play basic fundamental basketball. No trash talking. Let's just get into business. That's what Mr. Fundamentals legend Tim Duncan etched in the NBA history, in the history of basketball. Now, let's look at Proverbs 6 verses 12 to 14. What are the worthless and wicked people like? They are constant liars, signaling their decision with the wink of their eye. Like that. I'm not sure if the foot or the wiggle of the fingers. The perverted hearts plot evil and they constantly stir up trouble. Proverbs 6 verses 12 to 14. Overall, isn't this the ultimate goal? Is to cause trouble on a stable mind and body to throw you out of your game. That would be the ultimate goal of people that likes to trash talk, you know. That would be the thing that they do. In our life, there will be people that does that. They like to do that just to throw off our game. If you're succeeding in life, then people would like to do that to you. Or if you're in total concentration, that you are in focus, people will try to throw you off your focus, which is a thing that you can get easily distracted to. Now, the things of that nature is we're trying to devise to each other here on how to build each other and help out each other. Now, what did we learn here? We learned that anger is not impressive or tough. Once again, we learned that anger is not impressive or tough. It's a mistake. Anger is a mistake. Anger is a weakness. Once again, anger is a mistake. Anger is a weakness. On the other hand, The one that never gets mad displays strength and ability to get a hold of themselves. They control their passion, like what Tim Duncan did. He controls his emotion. He stayed in the game, which is his passion, is to win games. As a result, he had so much championship, I cannot count them. Fundamentals. That's how he approached it. Now, as a result, let's make a 3-step practical plan. That way we can contribute to you people, man. I mean, I love my people. This is why we got podcasting, is to contribute to the universe. Now, let's make a 3-step practical plan to conquer anger. Now, the goal is to be a better person. When the enemy is acting up on you, this is what we do. Okay? First step, do not react. Do not react if the enemy is acting up. Instead, respond. This is step 2. Define your own contentment. First step was do not react. Second was define your own contentment. Step 3, rinse and repeat. I'm giving you a 3-step plan here, guys. First step, do not react. Second, define your own contentment. No one can define that for you except you. Define your own contentment. Step 3, rinse and repeat. Very simple, guys. Now, we're gonna hit up some stuff here. I hope you guys are picking up some things here, man, because we are still early in 2023 and we're trying to devise things that we can improve ourselves into. You know, we're not perfect. We're not professionals. We're not pastors or ordained by the ministry, but we are people that trying to spread out functions because this is the advantage of technology. And it's amazing. Of course, shout out to our listeners in Libya, man. Amazing. Thank you for listening and supporting Talk Active. Now, we're going to end up some things here. When there is no enemy, what we do, we sharpen our weapon. When there is no enemy, no one's messing up with me, I'll sharpen my weapon. Now, what is our weapon? Aside from what we throw here, our weapon is our mind. Our mind is our ultimate weapon. Wherever you are, physical or mental battle, tests, exams, projects, any other stuff that you do in work, ultimately, this is what drives us, what we think, how we process. Our mind is our ultimate weapon. Now, how do we sharpen our mind? It is meditation. We meditate. We read the Bible. I mean, I'm not a pastor once again, but I do have the most basic Bible, which is the NLT, New Living Translation. It doesn't have that fancy words. I like fancy words. King James Version. This is KJV. Amazing things. But NLT is, I must say, it's like talking to a person in the street. They don't use any of the thy, and all that stuff. Basic words. You can understand it. NLT version, guys. Read the Bible, meditate, read a book or listen to a book. If this podcast right here, you don't have to read. You can just listen. There are audiobooks. That's how we sharpen our weapon. That's how we sharpen our mind. Now, take it as a workout. A workout is you cannot increase your strength. You cannot increase your speed without putting in work in the field or going to the gym. You cannot just be quick and just sit down in the couch and podcast all day. You're not going to be quick. I guarantee you that if you run, 10 seconds and 100 yards, you're not going to be reaching 8 seconds anytime soon if you just sit down. You got to go in the field and do work. That's how you get faster. In today's time, though, they call it gains. Gains is the equals to faster speed, heavier weights. That is your personal best. You gained it. Gains in today's era, in today's time. But this one, the mind is the ultimate weapon. Sharpen it by reading, learning towards the greatest of them all, which is once again the book of life, the Bible or Quran if you have it. The Bible, that's my number one, that's my number one book. The rest is a bonus. I do have a lot of different books here, guys. The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. I do have Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I got a lot, Art of War. There's just a lot of books, but these books are made by people. And if you admire their work, then it doesn't hurt if, it's an added knowledge. It's your weapon. You sharpen it. That's the most important thing. Meditate and sharpen your weapon. Do not make it rusty. Do not make it dull. Do not make it worthless. Once a great philosopher by the name of Marcus Aurelius said, "A real man doesn't give way to anger and discontent. And such a person has strength, courage, and endurance. Unlike the angry and complaining, the nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer it is to strength." Thank you guys for listening. Happy Thursday to all. Take care. And this is your main boy. Always remember, God is good all the time. Peace out.